It started on a rainy Tuesday. The sky was grey, and the sound of rain hitting the windows filled the classroom. I remember looking outside, wondering why I came back. My name is Elena. I'm 33, and I teach literature at a small high school near the coast. The school is old, with wooden floors that creak and walls that smell like books and rain. I used to love teaching. But after my divorce, after my life fell apart, everything changed. I came back to this school because it was safe, familiar. It gave me something to hold on to. But the fire I once had was gone. Most days, I just went through the motions. That day, I was teaching poetry. Most students were bored, their heads down, sneaking looks at their phones. But one student was listening. Really listening. His name was Noah. He was 17, quiet, and always sat in the back. He didn't talk much, but he had a way of watching people, like he was studying them. When I read a poem out loud, his eyes stayed on me. Not in a creepy way. Just focused. I noticed it, but I didn't think much of it. Some students care more than others. I told myself that was all. Then, he handed me a poem. He gave it to me at the end of class. It was folded carefully, and he didn't say a word. That night, at home, I opened it. It was about loss. About missing someone so much, you forget what their voice sounds like. It was raw, honest, and beautiful. At the bottom, he wrote, "You said poetry is truth we're afraid to say. This is mine." I knew I shouldn't answer. But I did. I wrote on the back, "Your words are powerful. Keep writing." From there, things changed. He started staying after class. Asking about poems. Talking about books. He was curious, smart, and his thoughts were deep. I told myself it was fine. I was helping a student. That's my job. But something inside me started to wake up. I didn't want to feel it. The warmth in my chest when he smiled. The way I looked forward to our talks. I pushed it away. One day, he stayed late. Everyone else was gone. He sat across from me, nervous. "Can I ask you something personal?" he said. I nodded. "Sure." "Have you ever felt like you're meant to be somewhere else? Like you're living someone else's life?" I looked at him. That question hit me hard. Yes. Every day. He smiled, a little sadly. "Me too." After that, our conversations got deeper. We talked about fear, dreams, pain. He told me his parents fought a lot. That he wrote to escape. I told him writing saved me once too. But I never told him about the divorce. About the way my husband left. Or how I cried in the shower every night. So no one would hear. Still, he saw through me. Sometimes, he'd say something small, like "You seem tired today," and it felt like he was touching the truth I kept hidden. I started writing again. Poems. Stories. Things I hadn't done in years. And always, I thought of him. Of the way he looked at the world. I felt alive. And guilty. He was my student. I told myself it was just friendship. That he needed guidance. But one afternoon, everything changed. It was spring. The rain had stopped, and the sun was warm. He stayed after class, again. He handed me a poem. It was different. This one was about love. Not teenage love. Real love. Wanting someone so much it hurts. Being afraid to say it. I read it 3 times. My heart beat fast. He stood there, waiting. "Is this about someone you know?" I asked, my voice shaking. He nodded. Slowly. "Can I ask who?" He looked into my eyes. "You already know." I couldn't breathe. Everything inside me froze. Time stopped. My heart slammed against my chest so hard I thought it would break through my ribs. The air between us felt thick, too heavy to breathe. My brain screamed to move, to say something, to fix it, but I was stuck. Paralyzed. My body understood something my mouth could not say. This moment was dangerous, and beautiful, and irreversible. My hands trembled. I looked down and realized my fingers were shaking so badly I couldn't hold the paper. I pressed them together, trying to stop the quake, but it only got worse. My palms were sweaty, my knees weak, like I was about to fall. I hadn't felt that kind of panic since the night my husband left. But this wasn't fear of pain, it was fear of truth. I stood up, backing away. My chair scraped loudly across the floor as I pushed back. The noise made both of us flinch. I stepped away from the desk, like putting distance between us would erase what had just been said. My legs were stiff, like they didn't want to move, but I had to. I needed space to breathe. Space to think. Space to pretend this wasn't happening. Noah, this can't. My voice cracked. The words stumbled out, incomplete, broken like glass underfoot. I didn't even know what I was trying to say. That it was wrong? That it was impossible? That I was terrified of how much I wished it wasn't? I'm sorry, he said. I didn't mean to scare you. I had to tell the truth. His voice was soft, almost a whisper, but the weight of it filled the room. He didn't move closer. He just stood there, vulnerable and honest, like he'd cut open his chest and handed me his heart. There was no anger in him. No shame. Just quiet pain. And truth. I wanted to run. But I also wanted to cry. My body told me to get out of there, to leave before things went too far. But something inside me broke. Not because of him, but because I knew exactly how he felt. And it wasn't just about his feelings. It was mine too. I had been walking that line for weeks. I had felt the tension in every glance, every conversation, every poem. I just didn't want to admit it, to myself or to him. Because deep down, I had felt it too. I just didn't want to admit it. It had been there from the beginning. That quiet spark, the warmth in my chest when he spoke, the way his words stayed with me long after class ended. I had buried it deep, covered it with rules, responsibility, fear. But now it was exposed, raw and undeniable. And it hurt more than I expected. You're a brilliant writer, I said, finally. But this can't happen. It's not right. I forced myself to look at him. My voice was barely steady. I wanted to say more. That I admired him. That I believed in his talent. That I had never met a soul so open, so rare. But all I could do was draw the line. The one I should never cross. Even if it broke both of us. He nodded. I know. There was no anger in his voice. Just quiet acceptance. His eyes dropped to the floor, like he had expected this all along. Like the truth had been more important to him than the answer. And maybe it was. And then he left. No dramatic exit. No more words. He just picked up his bag and walked out of the room. The door clicked shut behind him. I stood there, frozen, listening to the echo of his steps fade down the hallway. And with each one, it felt like something inside me was being torn away. 4 days, I couldn't think straight. Every time I stood in front of the class, I could feel the empty space where he used to sit. My mouth spoke lessons, but my mind was elsewhere. I made mistakes. I forgot where I was. The poems didn't matter anymore. Nothing did. I avoided him in class. I gave short answers. I couldn't bear to look him in the eyes. When he raised his hand, I pretended not to see. When he passed in the hallway, I turned the other way. I thought distance would help, but it only made the silence louder. He stopped staying after. No more questions. No more poems. No more late talks. He came in, sat down, and left. Like a shadow of who he used to be. Like the best part of him had gone quiet. I told myself it was for the best. That I had done the right thing. That this was how it had to be. That nothing good could come from what we almost let happen. But telling myself something didn't make it feel true. But I missed him. Terribly. Every moment. Every day. The empty space after class felt like a wound. I missed his voice, his thoughts, his words. I missed the way he looked at the world. And the way he made me feel like I still had something to offer. One night, I found one last poem in my mailbox. No name. No note. Just a folded piece of paper resting on top of my lesson plans. My heart knew before I even touched it. It was him. It said \n if the world were different \n I'd meet you in the rain \n no desks, no lines \n just you saying my name \n but the world is not different \n and rules are the sea \n so I'll drown in silence \n if it means you stay free. \n I read it once. Then again. Then again. The words cut me open. Tears slipped down my cheeks before I even realized I was crying. My hands trembled around the page. I felt like I was holding a goodbye. A beautiful, heartbreaking goodbye wrapped in a poem. I cried. Not just because of the poem. But because I had no reply. Because I knew he was right. And because something inside me wished the world had been different too. After that, he stopped writing. Stopped speaking in class. He became a stranger. He barely looked up. His eyes were tired, his shoulders heavy. He was still there, but he wasn't the same. He looked tired. Distant. Like a part of him had shut down. His light was gone. The spark, the passion, the questions, all of it had vanished. And I knew I had done that. I had protected the line. But I had also broken something pure. I felt like I broke something precious. Something rare. Something delicate. A connection not based on rules or roles, but on truth. And I shattered it to keep us safe. But safety had never felt so hollow. At the end of the year, he graduated. I didn't go to the ceremony. I couldn't. I sat at home, staring at the ceiling, knowing his name was being called, knowing he was walking across that stage without me in the audience. I wanted to be proud. But all I felt was loss. Years passed. Seasons changed. I moved apartments. I tried to write. I tried to love again. But nothing felt the same. I had everything in order. And still, something was missing. I never forgot him. I kept his poems in a box. Each one folded, soft at the edges from being read too many times. I told myself I should throw them away. But I never did. I couldn't. I tried dating again, tried writing, but nothing felt as real as those months. The words felt empty. The people felt distant. Nothing stirred my soul the way he once did. And I hated myself for it. Then, one day, I got a letter. No return address. Just my name on the front. Inside was another poem. Dear Elena, I've published my first book. It's called Truth We Don't Say. It's about you. I hope you're well. My hands shook. The letter slipped through my fingers. My heart raced. I had to read it again, just to be sure it was real. My throat felt tight. My eyes burned. After all these years, he had remembered. He had written about us. I bought the book the next day. I walked straight to the store, my hands trembling as I searched the shelves. When I found it, I sat in my car, unable to drive, reading page after page. Every poem was about that classroom. The rain. The poems. Me. He captured everything. The tension. The hope. The heartbreak. My laughter. My silence. My eyes. And his love, for me. But he never crossed the line. Not once. Not in his words. Not in his actions. He told the truth, but he never asked for more. His love was pure. Patient. Unselfish. It existed only in memory and ink. He told a story of love that never asked for more than memory. A love that waited in silence. That never tried to take. That only wished and remembered and held on, even from a distance. And in that moment, I understood. All the confusion, the guilt, the pain, washed away. What we had wasn't wrong. It was real. It just wasn't meant to be lived. Some love is not meant to be lived. Some love is a whisper between two hearts that could never speak aloud. Some love exists in poems, in looks, in things unsaid. But it can still be true. Even if it ends before it begins. Even if it's never touched, never kissed, never held. It can still be beautiful. Because it changed you. Because it woke something inside you. Because it stayed. And it can still last. Through time. Through silence. Through years of distance and wondering. Even in silence. Even in rain. Even now. Forever.